Hey, Lowco football fans, welcome to Friday, baby. It's Friday. I'm Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Wes Kerr, and we've got another edition of Lowco Gameday Live served up hot for you. Wes, I'm already kind of running on fumes. It's been a long month, but it's been a really long week for me. We had the unfortunate car accident on Saturday in which my beloved Blue Betty deceased while protecting me. So I'm really grateful to be able to get everything I did get done this week done, but there was some I didn't, and it's time to cut bait and move on to week 4 and go back and backfill, for the record, so to speak, with some stuff as I finish it. But it was that week, I've got my schedule wound up so tight to get everything in, and when something throws a wrench in it, there's just some stuff that has to fall by the wayside, and the show goes on. So we are on to week 4 today, and really we started last night. We were talking about it live on Lowdown, which has become a fun little tradition. We do the Lowdown live on Thursday. If we have Thursday night football, we get live updates. That's kind of a fun thing. I'm enjoying that. So a fun element we didn't anticipate about doing Thursday shows, but we got it started last night. Colleton County got that big win that we said was a must win for them, 30-7 at North Charleston. That game was 7-7, remember? So, the Cougars asserted their authority and scored 23 unanswered to put it away. So win number 1 for Adam Kinlock as a head coach, and hoping that he can join us here shortly. He said he should be able to hop on. So going to try to get him in here and chat with him about the big win. But Wes, a big night ahead, and oh shoot, I had a banner all typed out and I didn't make it go. We've got a bunch on tap tonight. We've got May River at Beaufort, WHHI game of the week. We'll have Marcus Walsh on in just a bit to talk about that a little bit more. That's going to be a good one. Bluffton at Battery Creek. Another Lowco on Lowco. We got Hilton Head at Hampton, where I will be. That one's going to be fun. Ridgeland at Marlboro County, an interesting matchup there. I think that's a game that Ridgeland can steal on the road if they play well. And they had a week off, after that Whale Branch loss to pick up the pieces. So I like their chances there. Burke at Whale Branch, our guy Dwight Cummings said they respect Burke. I respect Burke as well. I respect Whale Branch more. They should take that one. Memorial Day at Colleton Prep. I like that game for Colleton Prep. I saw Memorial Day last week. They've got some players, but I think Colleton will be well prepared. OP at BA is interesting, but not that much. HHCA at Northwood is very interesting. First Baptist at Hilton Head Prep should be a good one. Oh, by the way, Dylan Price will be at HHCA Northwood, so he'll fill us in on that. Pinewood at John Paul. I think that's where you're headed, right? At least to start the night. You may do a little Lowco hop, maybe. I don't know. Greenwood Christian and Patrick Henry, Dorchester Academy at Thomas Heyward, Cross at Bethesda, and Holy Trinity at Oakbrook Prep in the 8-man ranks. So pretty good slate tonight. Last week was kind of a weird one. We didn't have much Lowco on Lowco. It wasn't super compelling. And then you saw it in the results. There are a lot of blowouts. But I think this week has a chance to be a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot more exciting matches, especially with more local on Lowco contests, especially the one you're going to in Hampton with two teams on a roll right now, both coming off of shutout wins. So really excited to get some reports over there from Hampton, and what a great experience for you, and just to be a part of the atmosphere for what should be a fantastic game. And then I'm excited to see what Battery Creek's going to do against Bluffton, because that's not a great team. They may be winless, but they've been fighting and scrapping in a couple of tough games, and Bluffton's looking good. We'll see if they can keep it going with Owen Bays, who threw for over 350 yards last week. So
yeah, like 377, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 3 picks too, so you got to cut down on those.
And there is a good amount of that with like who you had as your playmakers, and there are a lot of short routes where his receivers were able to make some plays on. But even so, I think Owen Bays is doing a good job managing the game fitting well, and he's brings an extra dynamic set of skills in the run game as well. So I like how Owen Bays playing. A couple of throws I'm sure he wish he would have had back. One was just at the end of the half. It was just like a deep throw trying to connect with his receiver.
Right. So, I got you.
I mean, you can't really just talk about that one, but there
are
a couple of throws that I think he may have locked onto a guy and just didn't really have the decision that I think he wanted to have in that moment. But this is
well, and like I always say, and I always relate it to our baseball team, but we love mistakes. We embrace mistakes. That's how we get better. So, every time he throws a pick, that's a chance for him to get in the film room and take a look at it and see what he didn't see and improve. So, I ain't throwing shade. I'm just saying that's where we got to improve. 377 is great. 3 touchdowns is great. Let's work on those 3 interceptions. We'll be good to go, right?
Yeah, and then May River Beaufort. We'll have Marcus Walsh on to talk more about that. But man, I'm excited to see how this Tanner Macy offense is going to perform against Will Cotton. We talked to last night in Lowco Lowdown, and Hungry Beaufort D, which I've been really impressed. Not just him, but that entire group of 11. Of course, Tom Camacho has been excellent over their secondary. That's been a budding part of the defense. And then you got Robert Johnson and a couple of other guys who have really, as Will Cotton mentioned last night, taken a step up. So going to be an interesting challenge there for the May River Sharks, and let's see what Tanner Macy can do, or if Beaufort's able to control his dynamic run play and shut down this May River offense. I think Beaufort's has a good amount of edge in this one, but I really like the way that Coach Bonneville is improving this May River team, getting these guys to buy in, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be a competitive game. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more with Marcus in a little bit, but I do think it's a really interesting game. I think it's a great measuring stick for May River, right? Because if they are competitive in this game, like Hilton Head was, if they are able to kind of have some success doing what they want to do, then that indicates that they're going to be really competitive in that region, I think. But if Beaufort is able to push them around on the line of scrimmage and get in the backfield and wreak havoc and get after Macy and run the ball at will, then I think that would be kind of a red flag that they might be in trouble when they get into the region play. So, I just think it's a great test for them. I expect it to be a lot like that Hilton Head game. I think it'll be competitive, but I think Beaufort is the better team. And I think if they play up to the level that they're capable, rather than the level they did in the first half at Hilton Head, then I think it'll be, probably a Beaufort win. But I think it's a good game. I'll be definitely checking in on Beaufort's own stream on that one throughout the night to see what's going on when I get a little downtime out in Hampton. But it's going to be a fun night for sure. So you're going to head over to JP2. Let me see if we've got an update yet. No updates on CT4 status. And Kinlock has not gotten in. I don't know what happened to Kinlock, where he went. He was supposed to be here. But our friend Marcus Walsh is joining us momentarily. So let's go ahead while we wait on him and talk about our MVP sponsors who make this all possible, starting with my wife, Megan Jarrett. Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. She's a realtor with the Pierce Group of eXp Realty, and she would love to be your partner in finding a place in the Lowco, whether it's your starter home, investment home, forever home, retirement home, whatever it is. Grandmas and grandpas, you watch the podcast because you don't get to see, little Jack and Jill play. I went Jack and Jill. That's so old school. That's so lame. Little Jack and Jill. You don't get to see them play. Well, get you a house down here in the Lowco. Call Megan Jarrett at the Pierce Group, and she will help you out. And when you find the one, we'll make sure that Jan Lucas from Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspector of Lowco Sports, gives it a look over to make sure it's the right place for you and that you're not investing in something that's going to end up costing you money down the road. You want to invest in something that's going to make you money down the road, land you a even nicer house closer to the water. That's what we're going for. Okay. That's the dream. Not so close to the water because in 30 years it might be underwater, but closer to the water. Shorter trip. It'll be oceanfront in no time. And then when we do find that house and Jan says it's all good to go, we're going to close the deal with Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of the Lowco Sports. We got an extra in there. So Mickelson's will hook you up with all that. They'll take care of all your legal needs, just like they take care of all those wonderful, beautiful children who are out there competing in every sport and I see them all over the place. But they are the official real estate closing attorneys of the Lowco Sports. So we hope that you'll call on them to close the deal. And certainly Megan will make sure you do. And then we've got Hospice Care at the Low Country. We love their wonderful caring staff. I miss my guy, Jimmy Diamond, James Dismond at BNI today. He had a car accident. He's okay. He and I both man, we're all getting banged up out there. Y'all got to slow down. You got to just pump the brakes, let people make that turn. Just give them a little room. It's okay. We're not in that big of a hurry. It's the slow country, people. Chill out. But everybody getting in car accidents. But James Diamond, I can't even say his name right anymore. I've called him Jimmy Diamond so many times. James Dismond is a great guy, and he's running a great staff over there at Hospice Care of the Low Country. They got a big event coming up, Harmonious. I know that Marcus has been looking into that. He wants to make sure he checks out Harmonious, some jazz under the stars down in Harbor Town, and they're going to be raising money to make sure that folks in our community don't have to come out of pocket for hospice care when their loved ones reach the end of life. And because at hospice, it's not about dying, it's about living. In fact, I saw an amazing thing that James shared on social media. One of their patients back a couple years back when they were starting up Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett came to the site and he played a song for her personally. And that was arranged by Hospice Care of the Low Country, because that's the kind of thing they do. Like they really arrange like make a wish type things for people at the end of their life, whatever will make them comfortable. And man, that was cool to see that. I know you were you brought up Buffett the other day, so I thought you'd appreciate that.
I mean, what a way to be the final, lasting moments of your life, to be adorned by a legend of Jimmy Buffett. That's a great way to go out.
Yeah, good stuff. So check out Harmonious and support Hospice Care of the Low Country, because they are just wonderful people doing great stuff in our community. But let's welcome in Marcus Walsh from WHHI TV. You're on the call today, baby. It's game day. I know you're doing your prep.
How was your bye week?
Yeah, it was. It actually ended up not turning into much of a bye week in a way, because I actually went and obviously talked to Justin. I said, I've got Battery Creek on my schedule this year. I've got May River, obviously, on my schedule a couple times. Do you want me to go out and scout that game? So I went out and saw the first quarter of that game last week. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I just feel like Battery Creek, they just can't get over the hump with all the injuries that they have.
They're like so close. They're always like two guys away, and the two guys are standing on the sideline. You know, like
it's just nuts. But May River looked absolutely incredible in that, and just in the first quarter. And then I got the report from you at the end, Justin. And I tell you what, I've even been saying it this week, in talking on Talk of the Town and in talking to Daniel and a few others. May River reminds me a little bit of the team that I saw 2 weeks ago play Beaufort, and that's Hilton Head. They can do some things with guys on the outside. They have a playmaker in Tanner Macy, and they have a little bit more of the kind of spread them out, get them going on the outside, use some speed, especially on the offensive side. I mean, both these teams have stars everywhere. I mentioned that in the cold open. That's another thing that I'll.
It's funny you say that. As I think about that, I think they actually remind me more of Beaufort.
Really?
Because because I mean, Macy and Bybee are not at all the same guy. Macy and Samari are a little more similar. Macy really wants to run it first. That's the first option. They got a good little back in Jordan Williams, who's kind of a good comp to Jaden Andrews. But I think Beaufort's better on defense. So
yes, I agree.
That's what I would say to that.
I think that's where the big edge is in the game.
But
having
said that, I don't think May River's bad on defense at all. They got some playmakers.
No, they're not.
Nodelman brings the wood.
He does.
Karan Green's a really good player. Santa Claus, Gaston is he plugs it up in the middle. Cameron Mitchell is a ball hawk in the back. Like they got a good little defense. Don't get me wrong. I just think Beaufort's is kind of like pretty good. They've played some really good teams so far. So.
Well, because we got the pleasure of talking with Will Cotting last night on the lowdown. I'm sure you're very versed and familiar with him and what his game is like, what he brings to this team. What has impressed you the most about watching him and seeing his rise, especially last year when he powered that unit to a state championship?
Yeah, he's just an animal. I really enjoyed the interview that you guys did with him. And, he's undersized for a traditional linebacker, but he's got that linebacker mentality. You think of a guy that played linebacker that was kind of normal size, if not maybe just a little bit smaller, and I think a little bit of slightly like a Brian Urlacher type, who I believe played safety in college at New Mexico State. And so that's a guy that I kind of think of. I mean, he's just a beast, and really had a lot of great stuff to say to you guys. I think he's going to have a big game. He ended up making some big plays, but obviously that line had a great game against Hilton Head last week, or 2 weeks ago rather. And I'm going to be interested to see, in talking to Coach Librand, before the game, and I'll have him on the pregame show as well, what his thoughts were about that win against Goose Creek last week. Obviously, Samari is healthy and he's ready to go. And we've seen what Andrews and Smalls and company can do. And then some of the other guys on the outside, with what they can do if they get a chance. I was really impressed with the little bit that I saw from Darrell DePass a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, Amari Patterson as well.
Amari Patterson's the X factor, because he's just going to get better and better as a freshman. He's figuring it out game by game, and he's going to be a big factor at some point.
The one big question mark that I'll ask you guys, because I was thinking that I heard this right and I actually had to rewind it, is Camacho hurt?
That I got that from Will as well. I'm not sure what happened there, but he must have been injured in the last game, which is, that's a little bit of a concern. That they got to move some guys around a little bit, because he was locking down one of those corners.
Find someone who can replace him in that secondary. He was the best guy they had shutting down the pass game. We call him Big Play Dom, seemingly always making as Will Cotton said, the clutch INT. So that could be that's a tough loss if he has to miss this game, especially for how well the secondary is playing. But front, I think, is the strength of Beaufort's. And if they're able to contain Tanner Macy, who has been, primarily an electric runner, but we've also seen a couple nice plays in the passing game. I do think Beaufort still has that edge on defense. But, I think that's going to be the key when you look at Tanner Macy, who, he's, to his credit, he's played well the last 2 weeks, but this is going to be the biggest test he's seen in a while. And so I think it'll be a telling sign in terms of litmus test to see where Macy is at against this Beaufort front.
I didn't want to push on that, Marcus, on the Dom injury, because I didn't want to get our boy Will into a HIPAA violation or something,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Inadvertent HIPAA violation by Will Cotting, but
that's definitely something to look out for, though.
But that is a factor, and we'll have to see who they fill in with there. I was trying to get us some. We need a producer who's not me, so that we can get highlights queued up, because I was going to show you some good Will Cotting highlights, but it's too hard to do all the things. But so what do you think, Marcus, as far as that game? Wes and I are kind of on board that Beaufort's the team to beat there, but you seem like you're kind of bullish on May River. How close do you have it?
Well, I think it's going to be really close. I went back and I took a look at last year's game, and that was May River, with a huge, just great effort, and they led the majority of the game, and then Beaufort came storming back and did great stuff, especially on defense towards the end of the game. The play of the game that we actually had was the fumble recovery at the end of the third quarter. And so, I think we could see a back and forth neck and neck game again. And I've told a couple of people, in my opinion, home field advantage when it comes to football. It doesn't matter if it's high school, college, or the NFL. Home field advantage says something. So, I mean, I'm leaning a little bit towards Beaufort. Obviously, I'm not going to fully make a pick because I'm calling the game.
Yeah, but you're not Brent Musburger. You're not going to put money on it.
No.
And then make it clear who you got the money on during the game.
I think it's going to be a really, really competitive game and a really good game. I said this before a couple of weeks ago when we saw Beaufort against Hilton Head. They are best when they run, and I even mentioned it on Talk of the Town as well. They are best when they run the football and then go play action. Obviously, Samari Bonds can get outside. He can run. He can throw. He can improvise as well. So they're best if they can just smash it through the offensive line, get into the second level of the defense, no matter who they're playing. And I think that's really their key to victory, is how the front seven on defense and the offensive line do for everybody else surrounding them. And that's why I was saying, I think, just in my opinion, May River can open it up a little bit more in the pass game. And that reminds me a little bit more of what we saw with Hilton Head a couple of weeks ago. That's why I made the comp that I think they're so much alike in terms of gashing.
I think they're similar. I think they're very similar philosophically, just not necessarily personnel wise.
Okay.
And how it actually happens. Sense. Does that make sense?
Like
they want to run it. They want to run it mostly and pop a pass here or there. They'll spread you out, and they want to beat you up front, and they're willing to play a low scoring defensive game if they need to, and win it at the end. Like I think in that sense they're very much similar, but I think offensively I see a lot of Beaufort in May River. That's all I was pointing out there. But I think with Beaufort, one thing you mentioned, establishing the run first, obviously very important, especially because it kind of forces the defense personnel wise to have to put 7 in the box. And so then when you do go out to the edges, there's nobody out there to help. You've got guys on islands, one-on-ones where if they can just make one man miss, they can on those quick outs, they've got some room. We saw that with DePass and with Odom against Hilton Head. And I think that's really effective once they've established the run. And then it starts making them think about that, and they start trying to keep a guy out in the flanks, and then all of a sudden you got lanes up the middle again. So I think one thing to think about with Beaufort is the first 4 teams they played, big 5A opponents who have the kind of depth and personnel to actually kind of match up what they've got on the field a little bit. Now they're getting into the part of the schedule where you got 11 dudes that are out there, and they're the 11, and no matter where you line up on the field, they're the 11, and they're going to be able to exploit some matchups more than they have, early.
And they played very well against Fort Dorchester, especially running it down the middle
for 3 quarters.
Yeah, and they did that in these first 2 games. So there's a lot to be excited about when you get into this region. Obviously, there are some tough teams. I think the state is really underrating what we are seeing with Philip Simmons. That is a quality football team, explosive football team, and that group's going to be a problem. Hand solid, but I think this Philip Simmons team is a real deal. So obviously, region play is going to be, and I think it sets up well for Beaufort because you have the easier games first. You get the front loaded games in terms of, or the harder games back loaded, the easier games front loaded with North Charleston, Battery Creek. I don't think the Eagles will have any trouble with those 2 games. It's all about building and getting ready for those last few against Haney and Philip Simmons. So I think it works out well for them because I feel like this team still has room to grow, and especially if Amari Patterson gets going, he really breaks up at the end of the year. This Beaufort offense could look dangerous. And if that defense is at full strength, they're one of the best in that region, probably the best. Although I like what I'm seeing from the Iron Horse as well as Haney. But it's closer. I think the margin's going to be closer this year.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a competitive region. Those top 3 teams are in the same sphere where Beaufort may be the better team of the 3, but that doesn't mean they're going to win both games. Like that's not the same thing. Let's we got a friend waiting in the green room if he's ready. It looks like he's multitasking over there. But Kinlock, you good, Bo? He's not looking at the camera. He's talking to somebody else. But we do have Adam Kinlock in the green room ready to talk Colleton County as soon as we get him. You good, Bo? Yeah, he's looking at us now. Let's get Kinlock in here. Kinlock, you kicked off week 4 last night. You got the dub. You got that first win under your belt. You good? You got us? Uh-oh. There he went.
Huge.
We'll try again. You got us, Coach?
Oh, yes, sir. Can y'all hear me?
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, we lost your photo though, but that's okay. There we go. We're good to go. Kinlock, we got week 4 kicked off, and you got the dub. First win as a head coach. Congratulations, man. 30-7 last night at North Charleston. Tell us a little bit about it.
Just a good game overall. We put it together. We've been battling, just some inconsistencies, from just some different, on both sides of the ball and different from key pieces, and I think that we finally put it together. I was very pleased with with our line play, offensive line as well as defensive line play. And the biggest thing is we're just trying to get better to to head in the region, with a good just a good grasp of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to be.
Yeah, no question. And
Oh,
you had to be happy with the way.
Huge first win.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Wes. Sorry. Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, a huge first win to get. Just describe the excitement. Yeah, just describe the excitement of that team, getting that first win after a couple of tough games to open the year. How big is this first victory? And, just describe the team and how they reacted after getting it done last night.
I was very happy, just the way our kids reacted. They were excited, but they act like they've been there before, and that's what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see them storm the field like we won the state championship. I wanted to see them, relish the win ticket, but understand that it's so much more to be done, and the kids handled themselves well. I got my first Gatorade bath as a head coach, and I was just super excited about that. And the kids were, they were super excited just for me. Getting that first win, and I was excited for our staff, man. We're working hard, and we look at our schedule, man. We played a tough Hampton County, first game, and we had our chances. We were right there in the game, and then and then 5A White Knoll and 5A Ashley Ridge, who are two good teams, and I kept telling our kids like just keep fighting, man, and just to get over that hump, and get a taste of it. I saw a fire in their eyes last night, and I think there's something that we'll see again in the near future.
Get a little taste of it. It's addictive, man. You can't get enough of that stuff. That winning, it feels good. You want some more of that.
Good feeling.
People loving on you instead of hating on you all of a sudden. So look at this right here, Kid Lock. Did anybody buy this photo for you yet? I mean,
not yet.
Come on. That is as tough as it gets. Photo creds right here. But that's as good as it gets right there, man. That was some big energy on opening night. But we have Whale Branch win at North Charleston too. That's a good place. We got to go there on Thursday nights more often. Lowco does good up there. But no, tell us who were the guys who stepped up. Obviously it was 7-7. And then you just put the foot down and that defense locked in. And we saw what that defense could do. You guys have played some really good offensive football teams. So you've been sharp in there. But tell us who stood out on defense and just dropped the hammer and made sure they didn't score again.
On defense, Kamarion Bryant. He's a kid. We just nominated him for North-South, and he's super underrated. He played very well last night, finished with a bunch of tackles, had 2 sacks, and he's been rolling the past few games. And we haven't been on the winning side of those games, but he's played very well. He's a kid that can play on the next level. Brian Hamilton, first year of football player, been playing on the basketball team.
Athlete, period.
Athlete, and he is bought in. He came in as a receiver, and we were like, hey, listen, man, we think you're a DB. And he's starting at corner for us. And he had an interception last night and should have had 2. He dropped one. And, both of those guys played very well. But overall, defensively, we've been playing some good ball. Offense has put into some positions that, it may look like the defense hasn't played, but we've played great ball every game on the defensive side. And I'm super excited just to see the defense to continue to grow, and especially when we get in our region, especially when we play these teams that are built just like us, and we'll be all right. Offensively, we had quite a few guys, touch the rock. Nick Williams came over from defense. He was starting inside backer, and he caught a pass. Chaz caught a pass. We move Antoine McWilliams. He was our starting free safety, and we needed to get a little more girth at running back to help our young running back out, Cameron Grayson out. So Antoine McWilliams and Cameron Grayson, and another name that has not been heard of because he's been in and out the program a little bit. But Trey Wright, we had a 3-headed monster at running back last night.
Who was just named as one of the South Carolina football
special teams player of the
week. Special teams.
Yeah,
just hype him up a little bit more. Tell me about this kid and what he's done for your program.
So he's bringing a real grit to the program. He's a quiet kid, but he's a tough kid. He's a leader by action. He does not talk a lot. I didn't think the boy talk at all because he literally is so quiet. And to be honest, guys, he was not on the team versus Hampton County. He wasn't on the team. He wasn't on the team doing the spring ball, doing the summer. This is a late addition. This is a kid who's chosen. You know what? I'm going to take control of my life, and I'm going to do the right thing. And I'm so proud of this kid. And I'm not ashamed to say that. This kid has chosen to say, I'm going to take the step in my life to make sure that I'm controlling my life. And I won't let anybody control it. And I'm going to do positive things. And he came in late. He didn't play against White Knoll, and it was time to go against Ashley Ridge. And it didn't surprise us for him to run that kickoff return back because we saw what type of player he's been, at practice. And I'm super proud of this kid. And he gives us a 3-headed monster at running back. People are going to have to scheme up. How do you stop, 3 different styles of backs?
That's good stuff, man. And I love what you say there. And what year is Trey?
So he's a senior.
He's a senior. So, the unfortunate thing for him is, if he'd have made this decision a little bit earlier, think how much better he would be right now. So that's the lesson in it. Don't wait till you're a senior now. You could have been a real dog by the time you're a senior if you locked in when you were a freshman or a sophomore or an 8th grader. But it's great that he's making that choice now, like you said. And I love that you had the door open to him. You got to earn it still, but because these guys were out there putting in work when you weren't. But the door's open, man. Like the opportunity's always there. Whatever you've done in the past doesn't have to be a death sentence for the future, So I appreciate that. Now, I love you, Bo, and I had to hold you accountable a little bit on here the other day. And I wasn't sure you were going to get on with this, but we love mistakes because they teach us. That's how we learn. You were in the heat of the moment the other day, and it got a little wild, and the buck stops with you. So you got to do what you got to do, and you probably said some things that you wish you hadn't said. So I just want to know what went down from your perspective on that Saturday game against White Knoll, and what'd you learn from it? What are we going to do going forward?
Definitely a learning experience. Definitely won't be in that situation again. And if I am, I know how to handle it. I had a kid in crisis. And I won't go into
that's what I saw. That's what I saw.
Details with that kid, but anyone knows me know I love my kids. I am 10 toes down about our kids and our community. I put our kids and our community first with everything. And, I didn't want a kid to be judged off of one mistake, on a big platform. And, and because, a lot of times, in media, folks don't care about, well, how does that kid feel, when he's alone by himself, when all the cameras are off and, I just wanted to try to protect that kid, and we all make mistakes, and but it was all because I care about the kids, and I wanted the kid, I wanted to protect that kid. Hold on, Gab, I'm coming. Hold on,
you got a cord.
I'm coming. Give me 2 minutes. Go ask Coach.
The life of a high school football coach, and that's why obviously I wanted to bring it up because it I don't want to gloss over it. Like it happened, and it was there was a big deal made of it, and so I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of give your perspective, but also I had a feeling that was kind of what your answer was going to be. I was looking out for my guy. He was having a moment, and there's 2 sides of that conversation taking place too. And only one of them was shared on social media. So, I said, hey, well, we don't know what all was said first before you need to leave. And so, I just said, pump the brakes. It got hot. It got hot. Things happen when it gets hot. You got to get through it. And then you got to, pick up the pieces on the other side. But I'm really happy for you, man, because, that moment could have been a moment where it slid off the cliff. And, last night, if it didn't go well, could have been that moment. But, you just keep putting your head down and pushing. And I'm glad that the kids are buying in. And, and that they got that little taste of success last night. I think it's going to go a long way.
Oh yes, sir. Kids, man, they're great, and they are buying into our acronym we use together. And because it's not about me, it's about the team, it's about this community, it's about the school. We're the leaders, and like I told our new principal, Mrs. Bodison, the football team will be the standard of what a student athlete should be, what an athlete should be, just what a student should be. We want to touch on all three realms because every student is an athlete, and every athlete isn't a good student. But we're going to make sure that we are the best student athletes, we are the best athletes, and we are the best students. And that's what we pride ourselves in, we want this to be a community team. The community has rallied around us, and I say this in a good way. I've had to turn down so many pregame meals and so many things. I'm like, hey, I just don't have the room. We filled up. When you can fill up your varsity and your JV, and I'm talking about feeding the kids on, not just on game nights. I'm talking about we filled every week up from Wednesday, the pregame for Thursday with the JV, and on Fridays for the varsity. And I got 3 meals a week. And I'm talking about with 2 teams, and to do that without even having to really try, because the community is reaching out and it's saying, what do you need? I got this, I got that. All these different organizations and groups around the community are just rallying behind us. And, they're fighting with us, and our kids are fighting, and they see the light at the end of the tunnel. And and we're going to take our lumps. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. Sun's going to come up.
Coach, I'm really excited for what you're going to do over here at Colleton County. You describe more of your happiness, your excitement when you took this job, as you discovered the potential of what this school could do on the football field these next few years. Just tell me more about your long-term vision and what you hope to see from this program in the next few years and beyond.
We're just going to continue to build. Our offense and our defensive schemes aren't going anywhere. I told the staff we're going to stay true to who we are and who we want to be, and we're thinking state championship down the road. We're thinking lower state champion down the road. We're thinking region champion down the road. So we're not going to just we're going to do this just to get by. And I know we're going to play great technique. We're going to do the little things right, because eventually it'll catch up with us, and we're going to be in position to really, do well. And that's the biggest thing. We wanted to change the culture year one. Right now, I feel very good about that. The culture has changed, just with the expectation from the kids, the expectation from the community, the school, all of our outside resources. The expectation has changed of what they think a football team is supposed to be, because we're not just doing it for wins and losses. We're trying to change the lives of young men and young women. We have, I call it my support staff, team. We have a group of young ladies that they film for us. They get water. They're doing the peanut butter and jelly, the pickles, the Slim Jims, the Gatorade. Before practice, they're doing all these things to help us out. This is a whole realm of things I don't have to worry about, because these young ladies come in together. I mean, like, these young ladies, if they didn't have this opportunity, where would they be? We're giving so many people an opportunity who don't put on a helmet, an opportunity to be a part of something greater. Right. And we're building, we're in the weight room, we are establishing the foundation. Our kids understand what it means to work hard, to get bigger, faster, and stronger. We're, as a coaching staff, we're already preparing for, the off season, clinics, and we're already preparing for the things that we need to do. Yes, ma'am. We're already preparing for the things that we need to do to get better as a staff. So, we're in this season, but we're also, our minds are, let's make sure that this time next year we are where we need to be. We're not scared of hard work, and like Dion said, we coming now. We coming.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Well, hey, you got stuff to do. We know that nice lady is waiting patiently for you to take care of something for her. So we're going to let you go, man, but we appreciate you hopping on, and keep grinding over there. You're a good one, man. You're a good one, Kid Lock. Take care,
sir. As always, I appreciate you guys and everything you do.
Yes, sir. Go Cougs.
Yes, sir.
I love that guy. Good stuff. That's the answer I expected. is look, man, like I said some stuff, but my guy was having a moment and I needed to put a stop to that. That was not helping. And he's eh, every time we talk to him, it's more reassuring to me that Dion's a good comp. I ain't saying he's Dion. Don't get me wrong, but he understands that his role within that program is front man and CEO, and he's got a support staff to take care of the rest. His job is to be the face of that program and the energy of that program and just put that out into the world, speak it into existence and let it come back to him. And he's doing a great job in that regard. I mean, he has single-handedly almost, just energized the culture. And he mentioned the culture change. It's apparent. It's very apparent. It was juiced up there on opening night, and they're still excited. They were excited last night. So good stuff there. But let's turn the page and keep talking about the games that are yet to come in week 4 after we shout out the varsity sponsors. We got DDS Web Design. All of us are extremely online, and so we usually research the places that we want to do business with online first. And if you don't have a great website that can be easily found through search engine optimization, then your website's not working for you to generate business and bring you clients. So you need to get to DDS Web Design, DDSHHI.com, and they will get you a website up and running with the best SEO techniques to make sure you get found online. They love to work with small businesses and nonprofits to make sure that they can do more and think bigger. And then we've got Parker Law Group. Our new friends have been serving folks with their legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties for years. And now they are jumping on board with Team Lowco to help us continue to expand our coverage into those counties, as well as to support our Beaufort Academy coverage, because, our guy Clay Lore's mama is a lawyer out there. So Clay is good people. He was just got into the Citadel. Going to be a Citadel man, I believe. Did you see all those Beaufort High guys from the Citadel that were at the game at Goose Creek? That was pretty cool.
It's awesome.
McLeod, there were like three knobs from Beaufort High who were at the game the other night against Goose Creek. That was cool to see them in their uniforms. But yeah, Parker Law Group, latest member of the varsity sponsor level, and would love to have you join them. Send us an email at locosports@gmail.com, LOWCO sports@gmail.com. And we will now welcome back Marcus Walsh. You had to take a little break and go and walk about. So it happens, being live for an hour can be a little questionable at times. But Marcus, I'm sure you were eavesdropping on Adam Kenlock, who was awesome, and congrats to them on getting the win. But let's look back at the schedule coming up tonight. Bluffton and Battery Creek. Well, we talked a good bit about May River Beaufort, but Bluffton and Battery Creek we talked about a little bit. I think Bluffton clearly has the edge there. Battery Creek would have to do something pretty special. Nick Underwood, I think, is back out again.
Oh man,
yeah, he's so good.
With that kid. And
he just got back and he had the long touchdown run early, and then he went out again. Juju's playing his heart out on both sides of the ball. He had a pick 6 last week, but they just don't have enough horses right now. I think Bluffton's going to be able to pick them apart.
We'll see him next week against Whale Branch.
Now that's an interesting one. Speaking of Whale Branch, they got Burke at home. I'm not concerned. I expect Daryl will have 150 and a couple touchdowns by halftime, and KJ will do whatever KJ's got to do, and the defense will take care of the rest.
Yeah, I think we'll see some starters out there in the second half and get some more of those depth players in that Hatcher likes to build and develop, and those kinds of opportunities are important as we've mentioned. But this Whale Branch team, all systems go right now. They are looking good over there in Class 1A.
Do you guys think they're the best?
I think they're top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I got them like 2, I think, right now. But I mean, rankings are so stupid. I've been meaning to say that. Rankings are so stupid. Because here's the deal. Every one of us who votes in those things, we know about the teams around us, and then we know a little bit about the rest of the state, but they're just numbers. They're just numbers on a spreadsheet. And so, of course, the teams you've seen that what pieces they actually have, you're going to give them a little more weight. And that's why we have people from around different parts of the state who vote, because it all comes out in the wash. And so, but it doesn't matter, y'all. There's playoffs at the end. This isn't the college football playoff where you got to be in the top 4 or you don't get in. Like they all get to play at the end. So it doesn't matter. Don't get too worked up about it. It's just context. That's all it is. But I think Whale Branch is as good as anybody. Let's put it that way. Like
they can match up against anyone in Class 1A, especially if they, as we mentioned all year, if these key guys stay in there, stay healthy, because you look at those seniors, those veterans, those guys who just have the extra will and hunger to win. You don't see that very often. You don't see that at every spot. I think there's a real special buy-in that we haven't even seen maybe these last few years. I just think it's different this season, this time around for Geriatrics Group. I think these guys are ready to put in all that it takes to win, and I think this could be the year they get with the hump. So I'm really.
They have that magical thing going on where they have a senior class that's loaded with guys who have been locked in for years on a goal.
That says something.
And so you've got Daryl Cummings, you've got Keith Chisholm, you've got Bradford Thompson, and really, even though he's not a senior, you've got Alonzo Allen who's in the same boat. He's been locked in on a dream.
He's been playing for years. He's been playing.
Those guys have been wanting to play college football for a while. And they've been on that path, and they've been working with the kind of people who make you do the things you have to do. And they've been talking and learning from Niles Pinkney and Dee Delaney. And like it's tradition never graduates, they say. Like that is happening at Whale Branch. You've got a generational thing where it's special. And when you get seniors who have led by that example for so long, then the guys under them just don't know any other way. That's how you do it. The guys they look up to do it that way, so that's how you do it. And it just flows downhill, and it's a special thing coming together right now. And I think the adversity they had last year is coming home to roost too, because they had guys have to step up and play in positions that they weren't expected to and get more reps than they expected to. Like Javion Harris, he had to run the ball a ton last year as a freshman because their horrible knees all got hurt, so they didn't have anybody left. And Alonzo Allen had to go both ways all the time. And now you take those guys and they only have to play, really one way and sparingly on the other side. Like they're monsters. So I love what's going on there. I think they're going to be a problem. Hilton Head at Hampton. I can't wait for this one. We should definitely talk about this one a little bit more because you want to talk about teams that are similar. Now, these teams are, in my mind, very similar. Terry's a little more mobile than Bybee, but he's still primarily kind of like a pocket passer type guy, although he can definitely hurt you with his feet. But it's Zion first, right? It's Zion, it's Timko, it's the offensive line, it's who can win in the trenches and open up a hole, because both defensive lines are tremendous, and they both got linebackers who will come and get you. So, I think it's going to be a great game. I expect it to be really low scoring at halftime, and then I think the offenses both get going in the second half as they start to wear down the defense a little bit. And then we just see who's got the horses to finish it off. And, I think it can go really either way. I kind of lean in Hampton just because it's at home.
I am too.
But I think it's dead even, man. Like, I think it's that game where you give it the 1.5 point bump to the home team, and it'd be a push, but they get, they're 1.5 point favorites because they're at home. But man, it's a coin flip for me.
Yeah, two exceptional defenses, two outstanding running backs. I mean, the matchup is going to be phenomenal to watch. And, it's going to come down to who makes the lesser mistakes, who forces that big turnover, and which line can seal the blocks for their standout running back. So there's going to be obviously a big chess match involved. BJ Payne, he knows how to coach, and I think it's going to be a heck of a battle out there. And I wish I could have gone back out there, but you get to do it this time, Justin.
I mean, you can come with me if you want to. I'm not going to say no. You're welcome.
Well, I'll let you know.
Or if that JP2 game gets out of hand after a quarter, just come on out. It's a straight shot out from Hardyville to Hampton. Come on out and hang out. It'll be fun. No, it's gonna be a really good game. I'm eager to see Zion at full strength. I saw him against Colleton week 0, and he wasn't full strength. Speaking of which, we got to vote on our player of the week. I mean, we voted. Like I said, this week there were some things that didn't happen because of my status, but we made you a Zion believer, Marcus. You voted for Zion this week.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Wes did not. Wes, did you go? Who'd you go? You went Reed McCollum. Reed McCollum, Hilton Christian, which was a very, very valid choice. I'll even be honest. I didn't check in with Mike McCombs either, but I could tell you who you'd vote for. I can read his mind. I just got to find whichever Beaufort area player had the biggest game. Oh, he would definitely vote for Samari Bonds for his bounce back game. To lead Beaufort. That's who he would vote for. So, but I got to vote for Zion again. So Zion takes the belt again. I can't get past this 40 yards per carry average.
Just because of how efficient he was. I mean, you look at the number, but then you just look at how many carries he got. He got 6 carries.
Yeah, and then you add in the receiving 44 on 2 catches, and you got 270. You have 270 yards from scrimmage on 8 touches. It's just stupid.
Absurd.
Just Tim Kirkjian voiced me, Wes. That was great. Oh my god.
Yeah, Wes in another octave.
Wes has a Tim Kirkjian voice. Who knew? That was great. It's absurd. Oh yeah, it is absurd though. It's just absurd, and I can't wait to see it in person tonight against a really good Hilton Head defense. Let's see. Those freshmen have been really good. Andrew Massey and Josh Bigger. Let's see what they got. And I think Hampton's a little banged up on the line, and they don't have as much depth as a 2A program, but they got some guys that have been kind of one-way guys that can be 2-way guys, when they need to. So, man, it's going to be
that's what I want to see. He is the X factor. There's a couple of other dudes as well. They know about him, but man, he was absolutely possessed in that.
He had 12 tackles, 7 for loss.
Man, wow.
And he didn't get the Lower State Defensive Player of the Week for 2A. Come on. Y'all got to look at Hampton. It makes me mad. Hampton's got more than the Murdochs, dang it.
I've got a question for both of you, and I think I know the answer, especially for you, JJ. Have you ever had Rigdon's fried chicken before?
No, but I cannot wait. No. This will be a first time for me. I'm getting out there early.
I had to ask because I know you've been hyping it up big time.
No, this is purely based on the fact that it's what Rob Hanna recommended to BJ Payne, and then BJ Payne stormed across the field pre-game to let Hanna know that it was the best chicken he'd ever had. Hanna thought he was in trouble the way Payne was walking at him. He was giving him the old Vince McMahon walk, And then he got over there and said, "Dude, best fried chicken I ever had in my life."
Hattie B's chicken I had in Nashville. That's gonna be a tough bar, but I gotta go Hampton sometime next time around.
I'm told it's the value that is really the attraction because BJ was very impressed that for about $69 or something, he fed his whole coaching staff and had a mess of food left over, and he recommended that I do not skip the corn nuggets. Got to get the corn nuggets, which I would not have skipped the corn nuggets. I don't ever skip corn nuggets. Come on. I'm better than that. I know better.
You're a Midwestern boy. What it's all about.
Yeah, but corn nuggets, not so much in Kansas. Now, we had fried chicken there's famous fried chicken in Pittsburgh, Kansas, but not the kind of fried chicken that you think about in the South. It was made by Balkans women whose husbands worked in the mines. And they started selling their fried chicken and sides, as meals to the miners, and ended up. It's a great story. You should search it up. Chicken Annie's and Chicken Mary's, and the rivalry in Pittsburgh, Kansas, that goes back to the old coal mining days and the immigrants from the Balkans who were fighting over everything from spouses to chicken recipes for decades. It's wild stuff from my neck of the woods. But that's the fried chicken I grew up on. That and whatever my grandparents made from Arkansas. Southern fried chicken different. That's on another level. It's Cahill's got some good fried chicken. We're looking for an official fried chicken of Lowco Sports. So if you would like to be the official fried chicken of Lowco Sports, you just hit me up at lowcosports@gmail.com and we'll get you on board. Cahill's, Publix, Nectar. Nectar's got some good fried chicken. Surge Group. We could talk to you about Nectar being the official chicken and waffles. They got some good chicken and waffles over there. We're just throwing out free sponsorship here. We got to stop doing that.
Hey, Marcus, got some good SCHISA games this week. A lot of them.
Sure do.
We got Christian Academy, Northwood Academy. We got a battle of teams looking to get a win. First Baptist and Hilton at Prep, the Afternoon Delight in Sea Pines, and then Dorchester Academy, Thomas Heyward. So we've got a couple of important games on the SCHISA side, especially the Hilton Christian team after a monstrous win on the road. Now they go up to a Northwood Academy, who has really been the talk of SCHISA this year, sitting at 3-0, getting their first couple of wins since 2019. That program is all of a sudden legit, and chance for Christian Academy to back it up and make a statement of their own. So I am very excited, and I think we're gonna have a correspondent that will give some info as well.
Yeah, I think Dylan Price will be there.
The one game that I'm excited for the most out of that entire slate, and you guys have definitely talked that Dorchester THA game, but it seems like this is the week that Hilton Head Prep. I mean, if they can get it done at home in the Afternoon Delight in the heat and bright lights, if assuming that it will be sunny at kickoff there, I've called my share of games there. It's a great environment. This would be a great time for them to get their first win, and they really could use it for some really good morale for that team because they're working hard. I was really impressed with what I heard out of Dustin Etheridge this year, and I will see them later on in the season. Our final game is that Hilton Head Christian Academy game. So this is a big week for them, huge week for them. Hopefully they can get it done.
Yeah. I hope we aren't getting people's hopes up too much, because it's still like, if they were laying odds, they'd still be underdogs in this game. But I do think it's winnable. They just got to get on them early. They got to have success early,
no doubt.
And you got to get them feeling down and thinking about how hot it is. It's not even going to be that hot, but still kind of hot under the sun, and thinking about, man, we're already 0-3 and we're about to be 0-4, and I don't want to be here. And then just truck them. That's how it's got to happen. Because I think if they let them, I think First Baptist will get a lead, and I just don't think Prep's really equipped to play from behind very well, and certainly they don't have a lot of depth, so they need to get a lead and hang on for dear life down the stretch and hope they have 11 guys to finish it out. But I do think it's winnable, and I think it's important that they compete is the biggest thing. Compete, whatever happens, but go out and compete, give it your all, and keep working. So they're in a tough spot. They just don't have the guys. Just don't have them. It's tough. BA has the guys. They got a bunch of guys. They're at home tonight. That's a good party. If you're looking for a party, BA is a good one. That's always a good time. Thomas Heyward. I think that Heyward Dorchester game is really interesting. Just go for the spectacle of Tony O'Banner doing his Cam Newton at Auburn impression for THA. It's pretty fun. It's just like just flicking guys to the side.
I think that's going to be a tough challenge. I think that group really came on strong this year, and I'm interested to see how O'Banner does against that Dorchester Academy group. I think if he can assert his will out there and kind of wear down Dorchester Academy, and if that line has a good performance up front, I think Thomas Heyward will have a solid opportunity to get a second win here. But this game should be a competitive one against the Dorchester Academy team that's really impressed me so far. So I'm excited to hear from Dylan Price about everything that went down over there. And then Hilton Head Christian Academy, I named McCollum my player of the week, and it was definitely deserving because he was a beast defensively. But Dylan Clark, certainly grew a lot, picking up that victory. And they've got some guys in offense, Tyshawn Mansell, Isaiah Anderson. So, it's going to be a challenge going up against an extremely confident team on the road, Northwood County. But this Ron Peduzzi side, that he knows this team has some extra fight in big games like that. And coming off an impressive win at Ben Lippen, I think this team will be up for it if they can continue and just get off to the right foot, get a good early punch in them, and then they'll start doubting themselves. And I think that's the key when you're on the road. Bring some doubt early on in the game like that, and then it should be anyone's game. So I think this one could be competitive.
I actually think Hilton Christian's the better team here. I think Northwood's a good team, but I think they're. I do think that there's a little bit of smoke and mirrors there, just as far as who they played. Colleton gave them all they wanted. Cole was limited in that game, I think, if I remember right. They beat Thomas Heyward pretty good, but it was competitive for a while, and they beat Greenwood in a fairly competitive game. And Greenwood's decent, but I don't think they're great, So I think Hilton Christian. I think it's very possible Hilton Christian could win this game, comfortably, if all goes well. But with that said, Northwood is a solid team. That's been a great story, one of the bigger stories in the state that turned out there after where they were last year. So. Because they were in the coin flip with Hilton Head Prep for who got to forfeit to PD in the first round of the playoffs. No matter who won the coin flip was going to forfeit the game. Yeah, that was unfortunate when you put 8 out of 9 teams in the playoffs. That was good time.
Yeah. No doubt.
All right, fellas. Anything else? Oh yeah, Patrick Henry. We can't not talk about Patrick Henry. Those people get so mad at us, they never let you back over there, Wes. But Stricklander didn't get on, so we couldn't talk to him. And also this game's not all that interesting. Patrick Henry should be able to roll, get the starters out. I mean, BA beat him by 21 last week. I think PHA's, on BA's level, right there on that same level. So I think this one should be pretty comfortable at home on the farm, but can't overlook it. The Greenwood team will shock you if you let them.
So you got to take every week, with that same level of mentality. You never know. You got to be on your game, and we have some quality teams in SCISA that they can sneak up on you, but I don't think it's going to happen here. This Patrick Henry team, extremely talented, and just the week by week motivation and fight and hard work that we've seen from them. I don't think we'll see a negative performance from them today. I think they'll come out same mentality as we've seen and line it up. So I'm really excited. Patrick Henry is writing themselves a heck of a script there, looking like the team to be in Class 1A. I don't think it changes. I think they get the job done and take care of business against Greenwood.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, fellas. Well, I think that should do it for Game Day Live. I think we're ready to go for kickoff. I think folks should be pretty well in the know about what's going on tonight, and hopefully you can get out to a game. Again, we got home games in the Lowco. Beaufort hosting May River, Battery Creek hosting Bluffton, Hampton County hosting Hilton Head, Whale Branch at home against Burke, Colleton Prep at home against Memorial Day, Beaufort Academy at home against Orangeburg Prep, Hilton Head Prep at home in the afternoon delight against First Baptist, John Paul II 7 p.m. kick at home against Pinewood Prep, Patrick Henry at home against Greenwood Christian, Thomas Heyward at home against Dorchester. Goodness, it's a lot of home games tonight.
A lot of games.
So, hey, if you're out there and you're taking video, if you got one of them fancy new iPhones that takes the high quality video, you just turn that thing sideways, get us some good highlights, and send them in to the link in our Twitter and Facebook pinned posts, and we might put them on the air tonight. So, get out there and do work. Be part of Team Lowco and join us tonight at 11:30. We'll round it all up and let you know what goes down tonight under the Friday night lights. So that's going to do it for this one. Thanks much to Ken Locke for jumping on with us. Congrats to him for the first dub as head coach. Thanks, Marcus, for rolling with us for a while. We appreciate you. And thanks to all of our sponsors and to all of you. We got to shout out these Lowco Booster Club sponsors real quick. Prime IV, Hydration and Wellness, now open in Belfair Town Village. Go see Max to get your juice. Rooted Living Wellness, my guy Ambrose will get you cracked up and feeling good. Amazing chiropractic adjustment from him on Wednesday, feeling a lot better after the unfortunate incident in which RIP Blue Betty deceased. Barefoot Floor Care, the Low Country, they'll get your floors so clean. Your feet will thank you. Eagle Creations, they've got their one-stop shop for promotional items, apparel, awards. Go see them over on Argent Boulevard. Check out their showroom. And the Court Lifestyle Pros, Low Country natives selling the Lowco lifestyle on Hilton Head Island. Call up Daniel and Debbie to find your place in the Lowco if you don't want to use the official realtor of Lowco Sports, but I would recommend that. But that's your backup plan. That's your backup plan, the Court Lifestyle Pros. So thanks again to all of our sponsors. Thanks to all of you for showing up to listen or watch. Thanks to all of the people who came along on the journey. And until next time, which is 11:30 tonight for Lowco Pigskin Live, go Lowco.
Carrie was nice.